Kenya is a country where wild savannas border human settlements and nature reminds us of its majesty and unpredictability every day. In the heart of this land, not far from Tsavo National Park, a story unfolded that touched millions of hearts and became one of the most incredible in the modern world. This is a story about a dog, 2 lion cubs, and an event that shocked everyone who heard about it years later. The story centers on a 2-year-old German shepherd named Asha who belonged to a national park ranger named Samuel Kiro. Asha was more than just a pet, she accompanied Samuel on his patrols, helping to detect poachers and protect the park. Her bravery and loyalty made her a legend among the rangers. But no one could have predicted that Asha would become a mother to 2 lion cubs, and that years later those lions would return to save her life in a way that would stun the world. It was a hot day in February 2018 when Samuel and Asha set out on another round of Tsavo Park. They were moving along the bed of a dried-up river when Asha suddenly became alert. Her ears perked up and her tail froze. She growled softly and ran toward the acacia trees. Samuel, trusting the dog's instincts, followed her, keeping his rifle at the ready. There was always a danger of poachers or predators in these parts. In the thicket, Asha stopped near 2 small lion cubs lying curled up under a bush. They were no more than 2 weeks old, their eyes were barely open and their fur was still fluffy. They squeaked softly, obviously hungry and scared. Samuel looked around but saw no sign of their mother. Later, rangers speculated that the lioness might have been killed by poachers, leaving the cubs to fend for themselves. Samuel realized that the cubs would not survive without their mother. He called his colleagues, but because of the heavy rainstorm that was coming, help could only arrive in a few hours. Then Asha did something incredible. She laid down next to the lion cubs, gently licked them and let them snuggle up to her as if she were their own mother. Samuel was amazed. "I've seen a lot of things in Tsavo, but never like this," he said later. Samuel decided to take the cubs to his base, a small house on the outskirts of the park where the rangers lived. Asha walked beside him, keeping her eyes on the cubs Samuel was carrying in his jacket. This was the beginning of a story that would change the lives of everyone involved. At the base, Samuel named the lion cubs Nala and Kiro after the characters from The Lion King, his daughter's favorite cartoon. He constructed a makeshift enclosure for them and contacted veterinarians to ask them how to feed the cubs. But the biggest surprise was Asha's behavior. She refused to leave the lion cubs, lying down next to them, licking them and even letting them suckle her, even though she had no milk. The veterinarians were amazed. It's against nature, but Asha behaves as if they were her children. Samuel started making short videos of Asha taking care of Nala and Kiro. He uploaded them to YouTube to share the story with other rangers and friends. The videos quickly went viral. People from all over the world wrote comments admiring Asha's kindness and maternal instincts. The headlines in the media sounded like a fairy tale: "Dog adopts lion cubs in Kenya." Followers called Asha a heroine mother, and Samuel joked that she had become more popular than he was. Nala and Kiro grew up healthy and strong. Asha taught them how to play, chased them around the yard, and even growled when one of the rangers got too close. She became not only their mother but also their teacher, teaching them discipline. Once, when Kiro tried to bite another dog at the base, Asha lightly pushed him with her paw, as if to say, "You can't do that." The rangers laughed, calling her strict mom. But Samuel knew that the lion cubs could not stay with him forever. In a few months, they would have to be transferred to a rehabilitation center where they would be prepared for life in the wild. Parting with Asha was going to be difficult, not only for the lion cubs, but also for everyone who had followed their story. When Nala and Kiro turned 6 months old, the veterinarians decided they were ready to move to a rehabilitation center in Nairobi National Park. Samuel and Asha accompanied the lion cubs to their new home. Asha seemed to feel like she was saying goodbye to them. She licked Nala and Kiro, and when the car with the cage was closed, she whimpered softly, looking after them. Samuel put his hand on her head, whispering, "You did a good job, girl." At the rehabilitation center, Nala and Kiro quickly adapted. They grew into strong young lions and learned to hunt under the supervision of specialists. Samuel received regular reports on their progress and shared them with his subscribers. When Asha returned to the base, she looked depressed for a while, but soon returned to her duties, patrolling the park with Samuel. She was once again a tireless helper, but Samuel noticed that she often stopped by the old enclosure where Nala and Kiro used to sleep, as if waiting for them to return. Life at the base went on as usual. The videos of Asha and the lion cubs continued to gain views, and Samuel used the popularity to draw attention to the problems of poaching in Savo. But no one could have guessed that the story of Asha, Nala and Kiro would have a sequel, and that it would be so dramatic. In August 2023, 5 years after the lion cubs were found, Samuel received a call from his colleagues at Savo Park. They reported that 2 young lions, a male and a female, were wandering near his base. Based on their description and ear markings, the rangers realized that they were Nala and Kiro, who had joined a small pride in Savo after being released into the wild. But why did they return to the place where they spent the first months of their lives? Samuel, taking Asha, went in search. He installed surveillance cameras around the base, hoping to capture the lions. What he saw on the footage stunned him. Nala and Kiro weren't just wandering around, they were coming to the base every night, lying down by the gate where they used to sleep with Asha. One of the videos shows Nala gently touching the old enclosure with her paw, as if remembering her childhood. Samuel decided to take a chance. One evening he took Asha and went out to the place where he had seen the lions. Asha, smelling a familiar scent, became alert but did not growl. When Nala and Kiro appeared out of the darkness, Samuel held his breath. The lions were huge, Kiro with his thick mane, and Nala with the graceful movements of a true huntress. But what happened next was a real miracle. Asha slowly approached Nala and Kiro. The lions froze, looking at her. And then Nala, a huge lioness, lowered her head and rubbed against Asha like a kitten. Kiro followed suit, purring softly. Asha licked them, and for several minutes they lay together as if they had never been apart. Samuel filmed the whole thing, not believing his eyes. "They remember her," he whispered, his voice trembling with emotion. Samuel uploaded the video of Asha's reunion with Nala and Kiro to social media with the headline, "The lions have returned to their mommy dog." People from all over the world cried as they watched the huge predators tenderly interact with the dog that raised them. In the comments they wrote, "This is proof that love is stronger than nature. And Asha is a real miracle." But the story did not end there. A few weeks after the reunion, Samuel's base was in danger. A group of poachers who hunted elephants in Savo decided to take revenge on the rangers for their active struggle. They planned to attack the base at night, destroy the equipment and intimidate Samuel. But they did not take into account one thing, Asha and her children. Late at night, Samuel woke up to Asha's loud growling. She was standing by the door, her fur sticking up and her eyes glowing in the dark. Samuel grabbed a flashlight and a rifle, but before he could leave, he heard screams from outside. He cautiously looked out the window and saw a scene he would never forget. The 4 poachers, armed with rifles, were running away from the base, with Nala and Kiro chasing them. The lions, who were apparently patrolling the area near the base, noticed the strangers and rushed to their defense. But the most amazing thing was that Asha, despite her age and smaller size, ran ahead, growling and attacking one of the poachers. She clung to his leg, causing him to fall, and Nala ran at the other one with one jump, forcing him to drop his weapon. Samuel called for help, and soon the rangers detained the poachers. One of them, trembling with fear, said that the lions had appeared out of nowhere and acted as if they were protecting a dog. This shepherd dog. It was their leader. He said, and the rangers could not stop laughing. Surveillance cameras captured the entire scene. The footage shows Asha, Nala and Kiro acting as a well-coordinated team. Asha distracts the poachers, while the lions attack from the flanks. At one point, Kiro stands over Asha as if to protect her when one of the poachers tries to get up. This video, which Samuel called Family Guard, went even more viral than the previous one. People wrote in the comments, "The lions have repaid Asha's debt. And this is the most incredible team in history." After the incident with the poachers, the story of Asha, Nala, and Kiro became a global sensation. Zoologists and ethologists began to study the case, calling it a unique example of interspecies memory, attachment, and cooperation. Samuel was invited to speak at international conferences, and his channel became one of the most popular in Kenya. He used his fame to raise funds to protect wildlife and fight poaching in Tsavo. Nala and Kiro stayed in the park, but often returned to the base as if to check on Asha. Samuel joked that they were coming for family reunions. Asha, who was 7 years old at the time, continued to patrol the park, although after the encounter with the poachers, Samuel tried to give her less work. But true to her nature, Asha couldn't sit still, especially when she felt Nala and Kiro were close by. The poachers apprehended thanks to Asha, and the lions gave evidence that helped uncover a whole network of illegal hunters in Tsavo. This was a great victory for the rangers and further raised the popularity of Asha's story. T-shirts with Asha, Nala and Kiro's picture on them and the words Tsavo family have even started to be sold in Kenya. The story of Asha, Nala and Kiro has become a symbol of hope, love and devotion that knows no boundaries, neither species nor time. The video of their reunion and Asha's rescue from poachers is still watched by millions, and photos of the dog with lions adorn the covers of nature magazines. In the village of Kaline, near Tsavo Park, a monument to Asha was erected, a sculpture of a dog standing between two lions, symbolizing their unbreakable bond. Samuel continues to work as a ranger, and Asha, though older, remains his faithful partner. Whenever Nala and Kiro appear nearby, Asha runs to them, and their meeting reminds the whole world that even in the wild there is room for miracles. And the moment when the lions saved Asha became the clearest proof that love and gratitude can change everything, even the laws of nature. Subscribe to the channel and like it so that you don't miss interesting virtual trips to any corner of our planet. Thank you very much for watching our channel. See you soon.